Hello and welcome to A Moment in American History, sponsored by the American Center for Political Leadership. I'm Dennis Ross, director of the ACPL. Today I want to talk to you about an elegant hostess. In fact, the first official hostess of the United States, Dolley Madison. Dolley Madison was born in North Carolina, moved to Philadelphia, married a young Philadelphia lawyer by the name of John Todd. The two of them had two children. Unfortunately, after a few years of their marriage, John and their youngest son, William, died of yellow fever. While still in Philadelphia, she eventually began dating, and she started dating a gentleman older than her by the name of James Madison. James Madison was then a delegate to the Continental Congress. He eventually served in the U.S. House of Representatives for 8 years. After they were married, they moved back to Washington, D.C. so that James Madison could serve as Thomas Jefferson's Secretary of State. But Thomas Jefferson was a widower, and he needed somebody to assist in entertaining in the White House, so he called on Dolley Madison. Well, in 1808, James Madison was elected president. He served for 2 terms. Dolley Madison elevated the status of what a first lady should be. In fact, set the standard, a template for what first ladies should be. She not only created the first charity sponsored by a first lady, this one for orphan children in Washington, D.C., but she also held weekly events for the community, for spouses of politicians, for spouses of diplomats, for community leaders. But she really showed her heroism in the War of 1812. You see, at that time, the pesky British were at it again. And in 1814, they were invading Washington, D.C. They'd been burning much of the city and were on their way to the White House. James Madison and his cabinet retreated across the Potomac to evade the invasion of the British. She stayed at Washington, D.C. in the White House with her staff to preserve, to collect relics, important documents, including the beautiful painting of George Washington by Gilbert Stuart. And then a few days later, after the burning of the White House, she returned to a temporary residence and continued being the elegant hostess of the United States. She wanted to show the world that the vitality of the American spirit would continue to live. And in her elegance and grace, she exhibited that. And today, if you go to the White House and you ever make it to the East Room, you'll see hanging on that wall that beautiful picture of George Washington painted by Gilbert Stuart that she helped preserve. Yeah, you see, Dolley Madison was a great American. She was a great American hero. She did not invent the Twiki, but she definitely was the first official hostess of the United States. Thank you.